If you adored or even liked Madoka Magica, then this series is the most similar out there out of any other anime. Daybreak Illusion has a lot of dark themes to the story, where you'd hardly ever be able to get through even half an episode without a single character showing a sad face. The rundown here is that you got two tarot cards that rule the world. You got the Diablo's Tarot that acts as the enemy, of course, as the devil that feasts on the souls of humans' pain and suffering. So in a nutshell, they're basically a holo. Well, more like an even more uglier monster or some sort of disgusting blob thing called Daimonia. Then it's up to the wielders of the elemental tarot cards that draw power from nature to oppose and kill these holos. I mean, Daimonias. Then we have the main protagonist, a ginger. Coincidence? No? Okay. I'll move on. We have Akari, an underage moe emo hairstyled badass with a sword and her hair lit on fire. Nothing abnormal about that whatsoever. What makes Akari unique from the others is her ability to hear people's cries inside the Daimonia, making her often hesitant to kill them. All in all, as good as the concept is, the characters themselves didn't particularly come off as strong, but more visually appealing to the eye than their personalities. The opening was done by the best, Lisa, so you cannot deny the awesomeness that brought you this. Back on topic, overall it's a pretty good series if you want your shonen. Yeah, that's right, it's a shonen without any male characters. Except that guy. So this show will give you that fantasy, magical, pretty girl action to serve as a decent replacement for dealing with the void after enjoying Madoka Magica.
4.
As soon as I saw this appear on the summer list, I was skeptical like most of the Fate fans. However, as reluctant as I was to try it out, I actually enjoyed myself with this spin-off. Sure, the exterior looks like your generic Mahou Shoujo with its moe and etchiness, but the action itself within the series just takes the cake whilst consistently upping the ante with its epicness. That you could even argue is on par with some of the battles that are shown on Fate Zero. Yes, people, I did go there. The story itself is pretty simple. So instead of a cute stuff-looking animal picking the Mahou Shoujo, we have the weapon with a mind of its own to decide who the candidate should be. Once Ilya, the main protagonist, what, you don't remember? Maybe this might jog your memory. Back to our main protagonist, Ilya. She becomes a magical girl that's destined to capture the 7 epic hero cards throughout the city. After capturing each one, they can then be used as an equip to transform their wand into the same weapon the hero is carrying him or herself. At the start of the series, you may not think much of it, but the longer you stick with the series, the higher the reward you get later on. And by the way, no, not that.
3.
Sunday Without God was created by Madhouse Studios, so my expectations for this series was up the roof. So what makes Sunday Without God a great addition to Madhouse Productions is indeed the mystery of the world that God had abandoned. Therefore, everyone in this world cannot die nor reproduce, hence the title. So what makes this really interesting is indeed the supernatural, surreal events and adventures that unravel in the show. The main selling point for me was how most of humanity is dealing with the epidemic of immortality. By having an alternate world or a whole kingdom dedicated to specific people was really interesting. And heck, a shot to the head in this world doesn't mean jack shit. Most of the time, killing in this anime is just used to emphasize one's point. The only way to actually pass on is to get a gravekeeper like our main protagonist Ai to bury you. The characters were all thought out well, with a heartbreaking story behind each individual, which you can't help but care for these characters in different ways. However, as an anime to simulcasts, this was where the show fell apart for most people. After the first episode, a crap load of people dropped this series. Given the confusing information that's thrown at you in the start, people were reluctant to pick up the show, which didn't come off as a great first impression for the series. Therefore, I feel like this is a kind of anime that's meant to be marathon only, which is much more enjoyable to watch in bulk than in bite-sized weekly episodes to digest.
2.
Bloodlad is a series I was quite skeptical of trying out at first. At first look, it seemed to me like one of those generic shonen types where it's all about the battles, breasts, and more fan service. However, the show really proved me wrong. Well, partially. So what we have here isn't your typical half-naked pretty boy that gets underage girls wet every time he takes his shirt off. What makes Staz a unique vampire is his clench of thirst of preference for otaku culture over fresh blood. So the setting here is that Staz is a vampire boss that's an otaku of the demon world. Well, part of it. Staz then meets Fuyumi, your typical big-breasted, kind, innocent, clumsy, attractive teenage heroine, who we already see naked within the first episode. Great. So the deal here is that Fuyumi is killed by a monster and ends up as a wandering ghost, and thus Staz makes a promise to bring Fuyumi back to life. So what made this anime stand out particular from all the other seasonal anime was the execution of it all. The show's comedy seemed to be the main selling point, with many references to several anime and manga cliches that we often question. So for an avid anime watcher, this show will definitely satisfy your needs for getting some laughter into your system. The characters as well turn out to be very likable, especially when we dig deep into Staz's past. However, I felt that Ayumi really didn't bring as much to the table as I had hoped. The character didn't really spark much interest in me, and she played the role of the damsel in distress a bit too close for my liking, and didn't have much substance. However, the interactions between her and Staz doesn't bring anything less than a smile. Seeing Fuyumi going with the flow with whatever Staz drags her into, she just shrugs off in a second with many questions. Overall, I felt that Blood Lad wasn't trying too hard to be either too funny or serious. I felt the anime itself was trying to have fun with what it was doing, and for the very limited episodes they had, it was a great anime to kick back and relax to and enjoy on a weekly basis, which is its main strength, its enjoyment.
1.
That's right, Danganronpa. Need I say more? Danganronpa, with its ridiculously long-ass name that may cause you to lose breath over saying, is one of the few series that I have enjoyed watching on a weekly basis this year so far. So we have a group of 15 elite high school students gathered at this special high school. In order to graduate from the school, you must be able to get away with murder on any of the 15 classmates. However, if you do get exposed as the killer, you take the fall and get executed. But if you succeed and the classmates pick the wrong person as guilty, the whole class gets executed except the murderer. So all in all, only one student can graduate in this bloodbath of survival. The way the show executes all this is through classroom trials, where all the students are gathered together to share, theorize, and expose evidence on the culprit, and then succumb to a final decision on who committed the murder. This part of the anime was really what pulled in the viewers. The mystery and guesses that get put in front of you engages you to make speculations, predictions, and guesses whilst digesting each theory and piece of evidence that gets revealed. This, in a sense, felt quite interactive in involving you to use your head and encourage you to solve the mystery itself before it unfolds, which was what I really loved about this anime, especially as a weekly series. The anticipation for each episode lived up to my expectations, and discussing it with my friends as well truly sparked something that I don't often get from many weekly series, which is why this anime has been my favourite, or should I say so far in the whole year of 2013. As I am a sucker for survival series, this show kept me thinking about it, even after having finished watching it. The only downside I can really point out are the characters, as I couldn't put my finger on a character I favoured the most out of all of them, as most of them didn't have much substance, and as a survival series, it is often tricky to develop characters that may end up dead in any episode or so. So definitely, at the very least, make sure to at least check out Danganronpa above all the series I've mentioned so far. So I hope you guys enjoyed this top 5 list, and so what is your top 5 favourite summer anime of this year? I look forward to seeing your responses, and check out the UAK podcast for more discussions. Also, if you have any suggestions or discussions you'd like me to do, then let me know down below in the comments. I look forward to seeing your responses and suggestions, and I'll catch you all later.